Alright, so today we're going to be making a sword bait. We have our bubble blade here, our rigging needle, rigging floss, 300-pound crimps, 7 feet of 300-pound mono, our Mahi belly, and some crimpers. So what we started with was the fish. We cut above the pec fins. We ran it all the way down past the anal fin here. Kept it as long as we can. You want some action in the bait. To start off, we're going to cut below these pec fins. It's a little bit hard right in here. You don't really want to work with that. Next, I'm going to cut a little bit of an angle here, just because later on you're going to stick it inside of the skirt. Now you want to grab your hook, place it about a ½ inch below your cut, make an incision straight through the belly, comes out the side right here. You want to take your hook, line it back up with that hole you just made. You want to put the bottom of the eye of the hook where that hole is. We're going to take our rigging needle, make it perpendicular to the bottom of the hook right there, make another incision, pop it through the bait. That's where your hook's going to come through. Grab your hook. That one's kind of hard to see. Let's see, let's find it. I'm gonna find it. Make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so there it is. That's where my hook's gonna come through. Right there. Make sure it goes back through that hole you just made. And you're gonna lay it inside the bait. Now this should line up back with the hole you made in the beginning here. You want to grab your 7 feet, 300-pound mono, grab a 300-pound crimp, put the mono through this crimp, grab your bait, put it through the eye of the hook, and then through that hole that you made in the top. Now it's a little bit small, so I'm going to grab another hook here, make it a little bit bigger to make sure that I can fit that 300-pound mono. Not too big, so you don't want it to glide all the way up, but just big enough so you can get that mono through there. There, it pops through. Put your mono through the crimp. Slide your crimp down. Now you want to leave a little bit of room there. You'll see later. Right there, grab your crimps. Crimp this as tight as you can. Swordfish will exploit any break in your tackle. Crimp this 3 times. Now you see, you pull your bait along the thing, that's how it'll go through the water. We'll say that. Grab the pliers, trim off this excess right here. Make sure not to chafe the main line. And now we start with the rigging needle. You want to grab your wax floss, take about 3 times the size of your bait. Okay. Put it through your rigging needle. Twist it a few times. Now, make your first incision point. high as you can. Push it all the way through. Now you want to pull this thread all the way through. Leave about 5 inches so you can tie that off at the end. And from here on out, you just want to keep on threading down the bait. You can line it up sometimes, make sure everything's even. Now you don't want to make it too tight, but you want to make it so that there's no looseness in any of the loops. So just enough tension. All the way down to here, just where that belly lining is. You don't need to go past that. Alright, as you can see, we're still tracing back up the bait, going in the same holes we made before, crisscrossing. As you notice, my wax thread is getting a little bit short. Could have made it a little bit longer in the beginning, but it'll work. Remember to go inside the same exact holes that you made on the way down. And you'll see that you'll start to get this crisscross through your bait. Now you got one more. It's the top piece. See, it just fell through. I can actually just do this. It's a little trick I came up with when you run out of line. Put it halfway through. Back through your needle. Pull it through. So that was the last one. Now you have your 2 tag ends. You just want to tie a knot. Pull it down. Do one more. And cut off a little bit of this excess. Now we're done with the needle. As you can see, that's our bait before we use the skirt. Now what I like to do, I like to take one more little piece of wax thread here, about 8 inches. Put it back to this needle. And then I take the top of the bait here, all the way towards the end. Pop it through the top. Just like that. And I just tie one more off at the end, just so that when you put it through the skirt, it'll fit in a little bit nicer. And cut that off. Now you take your skirt, take your other end of the 7-foot 300-pound mono, slip the mono through the bottom of the skirt, pop it out the top, slide your skirt all the way down onto the top of your bait. Now what I like to do, I flip this upside down, get all the skirts out of the way. Just like that. Continue to pull the bait. And try to sneak it inside of that skirt. Now you don't want to pull from the line here. It'll pull on the hook and possibly pull it through the top of the belly here. So you want to try to push it in with your hands as far as you can. Now with some of these skirts, they have really small heads. You're not really going to get it all the way in. As far as you can. If we lay this bait back down, you have your mahi belly. Now sometimes we see that your hook is kind of hidden by all these skirts here. What you can do is you can take a few of these threads and just cut them to make sure that when you're fishing, the thread doesn't get caught onto the top of the hook. And that's your mahi belly. Solid. That's actually a really good bait.